Oh man, so this is the first episode of Max's Man Cave. I'm going to try this thing out and see how it does. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here already. We've got tons of people in the chat. We have Alasia, one of my faithful fans, friends, and fantastic moderators. Harley Dave, another one of my excellent, faithful friends and fans here. Semper Fi, brother, great to see you. Roman of the Empire, and most likely hanging out with John tonight is what I'm assuming. So great to see you, dude. Legion, thank you for being here. Cajun, great to see you here as well. And Coffee and a Comic, dude, thank you so much. I actually have your my most recent purchase from you right here, and we're gonna get to that a little bit later tonight. Nose for Act 2, thank you for being here. Salty, my man Salty is always here. Thank you for being here, Corey. Great to see you. Ken, always a huge supporter. Thank you, Ken, for being here. So yeah, oh yeah, the shirt. Gotta rep my band shirts, man. It's either a regular black shirt most of the time or like a X-Men shirt, but band t-shirts are always an excellent choice. Phil and Ash are both here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me go ahead and put on our lo-fi, excuse me, for tonight. Okay, so and Atris Miniatures, thank you for showing up, dude. Oh my gosh, of course, my pleasure. Yeah, guys, if you are looking to get into the Punisher, or any comic for that matter, definitely go check out Coffee and a Comic. I got these within a day. I think he sent them to me like same day. Wild. A2D2, hello. Thank you for being here. So great to see everyone. Hey-oh, we got the Stream Elements bot in here. That's how you know that this is professional, okay? First time having the Stream Elements bot in here tonight. Now, I will share a few things with you guys before we get started. First, I have a couple of little clips that I added to the show. So here's the first one. Here's kind of an outro that you guys will see at the end of the show. Cool, right? I mean, it plays for like 30 seconds or whatever, but kind of different, kind of interesting. So that's the first thing. We've got like clips in here that I've got for donations. So if you guys like Vikings, we got some Vikings. If you guys like, we got some Daredevil. If you guys like Punisher, this is probably my personal favorite one. This one's gnarly, dude.
I'll dance with you.
Ooh, boy, that Punisher one is fire, man. We've got some Lord of the Rings clips in here, but this is just kind of what I've been working on today and yesterday. Yeah, Harley, we got a Robo Wrench in here, that's for sure. And yeah, so just kind of some cool clips that you guys can play on here whenever you donate something to the Stream Elements link, which I have pinned up here for you guys. So at any point during the show, if you guys want to do that, please feel free to. And thank you guys so much for like I said, for being here. Speaking of tips, our first tip of the night for $5 from our man Roman of the Empire just says, just because McKenna isn't here, it doesn't give you license to go all silky crazy. Looking forward to the Punisher discussion. Thanks, man. Yeah. I told McKenna, I was like, so now that you're not going to be, since you're traveling so much, does that just give me like free reign of anything? Can I just talk about anything? Does that mean I get to wear anything? And still yet to be decided. We shall see. But thank you, Corey. I appreciate it. So Silkies may be in the future. Should I give a hint or not? All I'll say is I'll give a number, 1,000. I'll give a number, and maybe after 1,000, we'll get the return of, well, actually the premiere, the debut of some Silkies. I'm not sure yet, so but we'll see. Jinja Ninja, he says, hail, thank you for being here, man. Great to see you all the way from Japan. Shield Wall of Dragons is also here. What's up? This is my first time catching one of your live streams. Well, Shield Wall, I hope you enjoy. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I need a Silkies logo. I think that might be, I think YouTube might try and kick me off if that's the case. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go over what we got in store for you guys tonight. All right, so I'm going to introduce the talking points for what we got going on. I'm probably going to run the show for about 2 hours. If we end earlier or later, doesn't even matter. But these are the topics that I'm going to try and cover tonight. First one being Eddie versus Thor. If you guys have heard of this fight, this was the Titan weight fight. So if you guys have like heard of or heavyweight fights in boxing, this was a Titan level fight. Both of these men at their peak of strength were deemed the world's strongest men at one point and had weighed over 400 pounds. So these dudes are absolutely massive and some of the strongest human beings on earth. They recently boxed this past weekend, so I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over the Lia Thomas controversies that have been flooding the internet, rightfully so. And we're going to talk about actually like the scientific levels of what the NCAA deems purposeful or like introductory level for a female to apply and compete in male sports. You guys will be surprised to see the science behind it. Yes, the science behind some of these hormone factors and just how low or like how high. You guys will see in just a moment. Then after those two topics, I'm going to roll into Punisher issue number 1. You and I are going to take a look at it through my secondary camera right here. And we're going to flip through and see if this Punisher logo lived up to the hype. And then one cool thing that I thought would be fun for everyone to kind of see is like at the end of the episode of Max's Man Cave. And I got this idea from a friend of mine out in 29 Palms, where I used to be stationed at for the Marine Corps. She had said, you know, hey, why don't you do something where at the end of the Max's Man Cave installment, you show off something from your man cave and you explain it, you give a little brief history about it and its significance. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, and if we have time, I will pull something off of the shelf or behind me somewhere or in this room, and I'll show it to you guys and kind of give you a little overview of it. So with all that being said, let's get right into our first topic of the night. Let me check chat here and see what's going on with everyone. Oh, it looks like Nosferatu is wearing his Spankies right now. I don't know what Spankies are. I wonder if they're a alternate version of Silkies. I'll be busy then. I'm assuming when I wear my Silkies, is that what's going on? Oh, hell yeah. Women's powerlifting, gonna crush it. Actually, dude, you know, women's powerlifting, I gotta say, I have a friend who is out in, I want to say North Carolina. She freaking crushes some weight, bro. I'm surprised at like, you know, how strong some of these Olympic lifters, strongman competitors, how like strong they are. The Tad that shouldn't be, excuse me, he says, evening all. Thank you for being here, man. Great to see you. It takes a big set of balls to win a women's swimming competition. Yeah, you could say that. You know, they help with flotation. It's like a flotation device. It helps with, you know, propelling them through the water, right? So yeah, some of these girls are very surprisingly strong. They can throw some weight up. Steve, hello. How's it going? It's going well, man. Thank you. How's it going for you? Great to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. So let's get right into it. Thor versus Eddie. Let me add this to our stream here. And hopefully you guys can hear the lo-fi. If you can't, let me know. I'll just, if you guys want to throw like a thumbs up in chat or something, or just like, oh yeah, yes or no, if you guys can hear it or not. Because Streamlabs is interesting, or StreamYards, excuse me. Because if you share your window, sometimes they won't play the sound. But if you share your tab, you can allow the tab to be streaming the sound. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, balls. Oh, well. No, I can't hear it. No worries. Um, in that case, I will just throw ourselves into our first photo here. And by the way, Roman, I totally forgot to play a clip for you, brother, because this is still these clips are pretty new to me. So, for your $5, uh, I'm going to play. What do we want to give you, Roman? Since you mentioned Punisher talk, we'll do this one again.
I'll dance with you.
Freaking unloading. I love it, dude. And coming in with another $5, Salty Texas C, Corey DB, he says, give me that Lord of the Rings clip goodness. Hail, brother. Ooh, Lord of the Rings, huh? All right, let me get you a good one, brother. Here you go. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it.
I bid you stand! Stand of the West!
If that doesn't get you pumped, riding into battle, I would follow Aragorn into the depths of hell, which is pretty much where they are. Man, what a great clip. I love it. And with $10, dude, thank you so much. Creative blue collar guy John says, can't stick around tonight. Have a great live stream. Banjo, yes. Silkies, no. Man, I'm getting crushed on my silkies. Oh, such a sad day. Oh well. Maybe it'll just be me streaming to myself that night. Who knows? But let's see here, John. For you, I'm gonna give you this guy coming right up.
No mercy!
A little bit of 300 action for you. And if you guys didn't know, 300 was actually a comic book written by the great Frank Miller. So yeah, we got some 300 in there as well. Oh, bummer. Yeah. Sorry about the beats, guys. I'll figure it out. We'll make something work. Shieldwall says, Harley David's such a good way to go. Miss Martin Muses, hello. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Hey there, 3. Oh no. Trouble Green says I was sobbing last night seeing that in the theater. Was there something that I missed? Interesting. Wakazashi Gray just popping in to say hi. Great to see you, Max. Where are your silkies? Man, I've been getting crushed on my silkies tonight. That's all right though. Steve, I did hear about that. Not really sure how it's going to fare for Amazon or for Lord of the Rings in general, but they've already pretty much got a good portion of it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So let's get right into it. Sorry, it's been almost 15 minutes and we're just getting into our first topic here. But for those of you who don't know, Eddie Hall is a world's strongest man. Was deemed at one point the world's strongest man. He's a strongman competitor. He is known for his deadlift for 1,021 pounds. This dude deadlifted 1,021 pounds. He's 6'3" and 313 pounds. He is the gentleman with the kind of mohawk looking, the tanner looking dude with the mohawk. So he's on the right hand of y'all's screen. Thor, who we can see clearly his face, he is 6'9" and 335 pounds. His max deadlift, which was recorded and verified by the Strongman Association, was 1,105 pounds. 1,100 pounds deadlift, dude. That's unbelievable. That's those numbers, I can't even fathom it, right? But yeah, so these are monsters, which is why they called it a Titan, Titan weight competition with these guys boxing in the ring. European lore said it's distributing rights for the Hobbit stuff. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, big dudes, and essentially these guys have had beef since I want to say 2017. At least that's what Eddie had said in the press conference, something like that. But I don't know what kind of beef these guys had. I'm just kind of going off of this fight as a spectator, as someone who just likes to watch sports and athletes, because as massive as these dudes are, like rewatching the film and rewatching the fight, they are fast as hell. Like they are quick, they're strong, they're smart, they are true athletes. Granted, spoilers, Thor, who is the taller and I guess weighs more at this point in time, 335 pounds. He was the one who came out victorious. There were no knockouts. It was strictly by unanimous decision. So yeah, I'm not a professional boxer or anything, but these guys had some sort of beef that they wanted to clear out in the ring. So they both started competing. Eddie was, I don't know if this was like his press conference thing or if this was kind of an act, but Eddie was really, I mean, like, Eddie is the one with the darker beard here. He was like in his press conferences and his Instagram posts and everything that he had promoted, it was at times abhorrent. Like it was just disgusting. Like he was just being an idiot. He was being the villain, if you will, cocky, outspoken, vengeful, boastful. Like he was just an idiot with how he came across to a lot of people. Thor took the different route and was just saying, I'm relying on my training. I'm relying on my coach. I've had a few fights. I'm ready to beat Eddie in the ring. Like very calm, very, cool, collected. So with that being said, Thor was the one who came out on top. And I think because of his level head, if you guys watched the fight or know anything about some of those, oh yeah, great. Yeah, thank you, Tad. For those who didn't know, Thor was the third dude who played Gregor Clegane, and he finished the series. Yeah, I believe you were mentioning Game of Thrones, because he was always labeled as the Mountain from Game of Thrones. So, right, Alasia? I can't fathom being able to lift that much. Unreal. Yes, Harley. Thor's been practicing a long time to box. He's a madman. And dude, his technique was really, really skilled. And his conditioning was unreal, which like I said, just makes these guys much more athletes than just sheer lifters. So Gray, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Stay Genki, my friend. Yeah, go Team Thor. McKenna would be so happy, right? He was, shield wall. Thor was in much better shape. Now, granted, Eddie came in shape too. Like Eddie really did lose a lot of weight. Eddie was like 400 plus pounds, and he weighed in lighter than Thor. Granted, he has a much significant height difference, but he weighed in much, much lighter than Thor here. So I don't know if that did him a disservice or whatnot, but yeah. So ultimately, in the end, Thor was victorious. He continued to administer jabs to Eddie's face to where he continued to get cuts, and it tired him out immensely. So the conditioning of Thor was much greater, and you saw that as the fight continued on. He cut so much at that height and weight, it's pure insanity. Oh, absolutely, dude. He looks better now than he ever has in his entire career as an athlete. Yeah. Eddie's kind of a douche. I think, I've seen videos of Eddie before this fight, and he's friends with Brian Shaw, who's another fantastic lifter and strongman. But, and I always loved him in those videos, but he came across as just a total asshole in these fights. Now, like I said, there is beef with these guys. I don't know exactly what happened. There was never really any kind of explanation as to why these guys had so much hatred for each other. But I can only speculate, and I'm not going to try and, it was a great fight. And so I enjoyed watching it. Thor got taken down, or Thor was put down a few times in the first few rounds. But then after that, Eddie got so gassed, and he was throwing these haymakers that were just coming like down from his hip, like all the way across and like up to Eddie or up to Thor, and like just wasn't landing anything. And Thor was much more precise with his his punches. He was much more precise with his like dodging techniques and everything. And Eddie came out southpaw, which I think was kind of a weird strategy. But then after that, his strategy just kind of went out the window and was just like, okay, I have to knock him out. So he wasn't as level headed as Thor was, I think. But that is just my opinion from a viewer who has never really been a huge like boxing aficionado. But oh god, Shield Wall says, I bet it involves a chick somewhere along the line. I don't know. Both of these guys are married. They are both married men and have beautiful, loving wives. Like they're both great. So I don't know. When will male boxers beating up women in a sport be a thing? You know what, Alasia, we're probably not too far off. My celebrity friend just texted me. He'll be joining in a moment for a couple of minutes. Oh, great. Wow. That's great, Tad. My celebrity friend just texted me. He'll be joining in a moment. Okay. All right. Well, sounds good, man. Yeah. Enjoy your night with your friend. That sounds awesome. Let's see. Oh, don't worry about it, Roman. The Empire family. I love it, dude. Hey, enjoy cooking. That sounds fantastic. Samuel L. Gandalf says, damn, those are some big. I don't even have enough mothers or fuckers for how big they are. Yeah, these are some of the largest men, you can think of fighting. Like you envision like every time like one of their punches would like impact the other's face, that it would just like crush the other one, right? Like it would send a shock wave like throughout the stadium. So that's a good point. But thank you for being here, Samuel. I appreciate it. And Lyle Hammock, how's everyone doing tonight? Great to see you, man. I see you in Salty's stream all the time, so thank you for being here. Thor accused Hall of cheating during one lift. Oh, interesting. He'd be robbed on the. Interesting. Okay, that makes much more sense. Why these guys kind of had some affliction. Yeah, that's what started the beef, if you will. And the other thing to this, Steve says, I've been to the gym once so far. I think you can take Thorn. Yeah, right. Oh God. It really is kind of interesting though, because I've been seeing a lot of forums and I've been seeing a lot of comments on these YouTube videos and stuff, then talking about the strongman community. And there's some pretty significant pushback and backlash from the strongman community, saying that this was like a disgrace and that this is ruining the sport because of their already like small fan base. Like the strongman and powerlifting community doesn't really have like a level of like NFL or NBA or whatever it is. They're pretty, it's pretty niche. And so for these guys to go out and promote that they're like boxing or whatever, a lot of strongmen in the community were like, this is unexcusable. Like these are athletes who are strongmen. They shouldn't be boxing. So I don't know what you guys think about it. You can leave it in the chat. For me, it kind of felt like this, like YouTubers boxing, right? It feels like a way for men to get out some of their aggression against guys that they don't like and still get paid millions of dollars for it. It's as simple as that. If I'm famous, if I have money, if I'm popular, and I got beef with someone, and I say, hey, you know what? We can benefit from this. You can make $1 million. I can make $1 million. We can fight in a ring and get some of our aggression settled, and we never have to fucking worry about this again. A lot of guys are starting to do that. Like I said, especially YouTubers. For some reason, this started with like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and they were just boxing people for fun. I don't know. So yeah, is this just a legal way for men to like fight now? I don't know. Coffee says, I think it will actually bring more to. That's what I thought too, right? But I guess a lot of people are not like happy with how they went about it. Well, thanks for stopping by, Lyle. I appreciate you swinging by and saying hi. Has anyone ever actually watched half the workout? It's insane. Oh yeah, it's frightening. He's a very, very well versed athlete. Size doesn't necessarily mean punching power. There's light heavyweights who would crush these two. With some of their technique, absolutely, dude. I mean, these are not seasoned boxers, but they have a lot of power behind that punch. So I saw a video of Thor lifting up 1,000 pounds. Yeah. There's some pretty crazy videos. I think it's a great novelty match. Don't know about huge beasts like this beating one another. Yeah, you never see this kind of stuff. Um, like you never see this stuff just on public access or just like on what was that old TiVo when you could like record stuff. Um, this was something different. So and like yeah, it doesn't even say like what the federation was that was putting this on or anything. Like I can see all the sponsors like Rain and Rogue, Beard Struggle, but like is this a sanctioned like boxing match? Like do they win anything from this? I don't know. Except for money and a lot of fame. Oh boy, look at this name. What are we talking about? Just got here. Dovyi Dovyandi Setovia Segain. Did I get it right? Is that somewhere close? We are talking about Thor versus Eddie, the Titan weight fight that just happened this last weekend. But we're pretty much summed up with this one, and now moving on to our next topic. Um, yeah, I agree, Harley. Strongman doesn't necessarily have very good marketing behind it. It's just I just don't know if it's you know there's not much money behind the sport, unfortunately. It's a cool sport. I actually really like it a lot. Ooh, check it out, guys. All right. So, as per usual, cameras off. We know the drill. But instead of just drinking tonight, let's play a clip. So you can guarantee that every time the camera goes off from now on, we'll get a little bit of hail and cheers to everyone. Hopefully that was worth it. That's weird that they just got in the ring and beat each other up, boys. I mean, hey, honestly, it's a great way to get out some of that aggression. So like, I understand it. Drink, damn it, drink again. Okay, good. I'm glad. The screen went blank, and for a second I thought I took a hit on some bad shit. No, man, it's just my camera. Don't worry about it. It's just for some reason this camera doesn't like the cam link that I got set up here. Great quality though. So, I'm hydrating, by the way. No nervous drinking here on this stream. Okay. Speaking of hydrating and water, that was the worst segue ever, but we're going to roll with it. Oh boy, guys, boys, we haven't talked about politics or controversies on the show for a hot minute. We've been doing fun superhero games and stuff, but yeah, not allowed to replace the camera or turn off the power saver. We must continue the drinking game. Of course. Why would I ever try and enhance the production value of the show? It's now that it's become such a great meme, we got to keep it. So the Lia Thomas controversy, we're going to add this back onto the stream here, and we are moving on from Thor versus Eddie, and I'm going to get rid of these. So Lia Thomas, as you guys have heard in the mainstream media, is it mainstream media? Where did you guys hear about this? Twitter, Instagram? It's literally been everywhere. But Lia Thomas, otherwise known as Will or William, wins the Division I NCAA Women's 500 Freestyle National Championship. As a male, Will was ranked 462nd. Now, out of how many, I don't know. I don't know how many national Division I level swimmers there are, or if this was like Division I, 2, and 3. But NCAA collegiate level swimmers, he was ranked 462. Now, as a female, he is ranked number 1. So as of this past week, after he competed in the Women's 500 Freestyle National Championship. So, yeah, Balls is right. Um, William, yes, thank you. Thank you for correcting me and making sure that I made sure I got it right. Um, okay, everywhere, because everyone knows it's wrong, but most news outlets will act like it's normal and groundbreaking. Yeah, Dave, where are my feminists at? That's what's so interesting is like doesn't this break the feminist narrative? Because well, maybe not the feminist narrative, but a lot of women have been advocating for the trans rights and activism for trans rights and whatever, which is fine. I have nothing against. I'm not a transphobe. I'm not transphobic. I have nothing against them. But when they start to weaponize what it is that they are identifying as, that is when it becomes not only dangerous, but now like lying, cheating, harmful. It's becoming now an issue that we can't ignore because, hey, I'm a Christian, right? There are Christians that are going to go out there and try and evangelize and try and convert you, and they'll say, "Oh, well, if you're not a follower of Christ, then you go to hell." That's awful. Why would you tell someone that? You have to come about it from a different perspective, and you can't just shove this stuff down people's throats. They will never understand you. They will never come from a point of compassion or understanding about you. So with this is forcing something on a sport. We're not just talking about a person or an amount of people. We're talking about like an entire sport, an entire community of athletes who just so happen to be women. And with the recent uprising sounds like a cult or something, but with the recent like uptick of feminist movements, some would say even feminist propaganda, intersectional feminist propaganda, you are getting more women who are trying to preach that either women belong in men's sports or trans men, I guess would that be the correct term, belong in men's sports, so that everyone is equal, right? That both genders are equal in every shape, form, or fashion. And that's just not true. Like women are beautiful and powerful and have their own strengths and have their own weaknesses as well. Same with men. Men can be strong and powerful and but also loving, but men have their weaknesses as well. But when we're talking biologically, physiologically, we're going to go into some of the like hormone changes and why this was like so fucked up and why it makes no sense and how like just kind of evil this whole thing really is, that people are not acknowledging the issue at hand. Alasia says that's a sick family that his father didn't put him in his place. Oh my God. I'm more disgusted with his parents. What kind of people do you have to raise such a weasel? I mean, it really is. It's just cheating. Why do you think J.K. Rowling is getting shit? There are two competing groups of feminists, TERFs like Rowling's and intersectional feminists who support stuff like this. And that's why I don't get the whole feminist thing, the whole feminist agenda, because it's like, okay, so you have like a section of mainstream, like mainline just activism, and you have like feminists. But then inside of the feminist agenda, you have like intersectional and TERFs. And then out of that, like it just keeps separating into these subsections. And it's like, at what point are we just going to say this is all fucking crazy? Like, can we just say simple terms like male and female sports? And if they want, like, maybe this could be a solution. Maybe there is a trans sport, or not sport, but a trans collegiate level where it's male, female, and trans men and women that compete together. So then you're like really getting into the weeds of like, okay, how sorry, I'm just going through the chat here. How level of a playing field do we want to have about this? Coffee says the easiest way to fix this is in sports, get rid of the male and female label in sports, go to XX or XY chromosomes division, boom, issue solved. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if Yeah, like, because if there isn't a male or female label, you go to the XX or XY chromosome, so that is biological, but then people are still going to say, well, I'm XX, but I identify as XY. So does that make me able to compete in XY? So it, like, even if there are biological labels, because like what's the term, like gender is fluid or something, but I don't know the correct terminology, but it is very, very interesting. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking through the chat here. He's flashing the girls in the chat. I did hear about that, Alasia. I know a lot of the girls are concerned because he is outwardly exposing himself in a locker room, that because he has not undergone the full surgery yet. He has just been taking the hormone suppressants. All this shows is that men will dominate any venue they compete in. I think there are venues that men will do better at and venues that women will do better at. There's no doubt about that. However, in this venue, absolutely men have a much more biological advantage than women. That is just scientifically proven. Did you hear that Rafe Judkins is going to be a showrunner at Amazon? God of War. Interesting. Oh, and then we were talking about the different feminists. Let's see. Atris is not going to lie. I laughed my ass off when I saw a video of her being second place by almost 45. Bro, she was like, I'm going to get to some of the times in a second. It's unreal how much more she was like dominating some of these. Men and women are not equal. I think I think in various circumstances, men and women are equally yoked. Like for me, not yoked isn't jacked, like, but there's a piece of scripture that says men and women are equally yoked, or that you need to be equally yoked. And a yoke is what you would put over oxen when they would be pulling like a trolley or something like that. And so the yoke would go over the oxen's neck so that one wouldn't go farther than the other. One wouldn't push the cart off the course, because the yoke would keep them equally in place. So I think that when you're looking for a partner, when you're looking for someone like a male or a female, they need to be equally yoked. They can be your equal in a lot of things, but where you are weak, I think that person needs to be strong. When your partner is strong, or when your partner is weak, you need to be strong for them. So I don't know if I necessarily agree that men and women are not equal. I think I would say men and women are absolutely equal, but we have differences between each other that make us beautiful in our own way. Camille Paglia, second wave true feminist icon and professor, drop kicked this across the room. Interesting. I'd like to see that. I can't say that your genes scientifically prove you're XX or XY. Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I'm curious to see if that might be where we go in the future. People have been calling it crazy for a while. They just keep being canceled and so on. Yeah, I'm more disappointed that the other swimmers competed. Ooh, that's that's the other big topic at hand. Yeah, dropping the Old Testament, brother. Gots to. Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled. That's okay. If I haven't been canceled already, come on, let's be real. I never said it was 100% fix. It would fix some, kind of be something. Yeah, I think there are ways to solve this issue. I don't think this is the right way to go, though, because as we see, let me pull up some of the notes here. So the NCAA states that genital surgery is medically unnecessary for him to compete. So anytime that we are going to see a male compete in a female sport, they do not need to, as of right now, they do not need to undergo any sort of genital surgery, which is absolutely insane, because if William would like to compete, I think it's only fair that they undergo the full transition in order to compete in a female sport, if they are going to, which I still don't think is right, because we're looking at a man he's 22 years old, who has had 20 years of developing full testosterone, which like 20 to 22, you're like peak testosterone level, bro. Like 18 is like right around when it's really peaking. But like you are at your prime at 20 to 22 years old, right? So I believe that William, at least in this article, Leah or William was said to have started the hormone suppressants about 2 years ago. His last men's competition was November 2019, which is when he started taking the hormone suppressants. So looking more into this, if you still have a functioning unit, I will call it a unit, twigs and berries, whatever you want to say, package, if you have a functioning package that is attached to you, you are going to still be producing testosterone, even if you were taking suppressants of that. You know, if you're taking test blockers or estrogen enhancers or whatnot, or what did I just say? Like some sort of blockers or something. You're still producing natural testosterone from your male package. That's just biologically true. And like I said, he's only 22, so he's in the prime of his life. So people will say that, oh, it's the same thing as having a female take steroids. But we're talking about a man who has developed a thicker and more dense bone structure, more musculature, larger appendages. The list goes on. And he's been doing this for the past 20 years, technically 22 years, but we'll say with the suppressants being taken about 2 years ago. So, yeah, fuzzy dice. We'll go Crown Royal bag. Both of those work. Both of those work. Frankenbeans. Thank you. That was the medical term. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I should have been using that. So, with that being said, let me pull up. Oh, so I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I hit everything. But when you transition to a female, in this case, when you start taking hormone suppressants, it's not making you smaller or more fragile because he still had 20 years of development in his body before taking the hormones. But same with steroids. Whenever you are off a cycle, your body wants to go back to normal, like stretching out a rubber band. So basically, you know, a male testosterone levels are here. Let's just say average male testosterone levels are here. I'm trying not to block my mic. You take a outside source of testosterone. It doesn't need to be tren. It doesn't need to be HGH. It doesn't need to be anything. Just you introduce testosterone, maybe like a testosterone replacement therapy, just to boost your levels. So now your body is used to this amount. So your natural production of natural testosterone here starts to say, well, I don't really need to produce as much anymore. So then once you get off your testosterone cycle and you cycle back off of it to allow your body to produce more, it now goes down farther because your body hasn't need to produce it naturally. So now you're in this state of like fluctuation of going between extreme highs and extreme lows. And that's kind of the opposite of what's going on with William here and his, these suppressants, is that his testosterone levels are here and the suppressant is coming down and trying to lower that and trying to like break it down. But the only thing that it's doing is the body is going to say, like, he's a 22-year-old male and he's going to be like, dude, I need to be producing testosterone. What the hell is happening? So then once he cycles off that hormone, his testosterone is going to boost right back up. And when he's doing that, and once he's back up to his regular testosterone levels of a 22-year-old male, he's going to be competing like a 22-year-old male because he's producing the testosterone that he needs at that age to compete at that level of sport. So then we'll go into like we'll get real scientific. Just you wait, boys. It's going to be insane because More Plates, More Dates did a great video on breaking down some of the science behind this that I thought was really interesting. But essentially, when you're looking at the NCAA and what they require for these hormone suppressants, it says that when you break down the science, women produce about 40 to 50 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, 40 to 50. The requirements for men to compete as a female, as regulated by the NCAA, is roughly 288 nanograms per deciliter. So we're talking 4 to 5 times the amount of what a natural cisgendered female will generate as in her lifetime as a 20, 22-year-old woman or whatever. That's freaking insane. That is unreal. Here, let me change the photo real quick. Yeah, that's nuts. Like, I'll say that one more time. Women basically produce an average of around 40 to 50 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, just naturally. But the requirements that the NCAA is asking for men to compete at a female level is that they produce anywhere, or regulated, that they produce anywhere below 288 nanograms per deciliter, which is still 4 to 5 times more than what females naturally produce. Like a male's testosterone ranges anywhere from like 250 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. That's like across a wide variety of ages and different factors and different labs that you will take. But for the most part, we're talking 250 to 1,000. So if the NCAA is saying that like 288 nanograms per deciliter is what you have to, be under or be like around in order to compete as a female, you're still blowing the competition out of the water by 4 to 5 times that of what a female would be producing. And we're not even talking about that's just testosterone. We haven't even discussed the fact that, like, because women have, their time of the month, they don't have as much oxygen carrying capacity because of the red blood cells that they have to deplete every single month. Guys don't do that with their parts, you know what I mean? So because of that, females have a lower oxygen carrying capacity with those blood cells. So little things like that I found out, or that I was listening to in this video today, was just so interesting, because it really does put into perspective like how much of a difference this really does play on, and how unfortunate it is for these girls who are trying to compete. I mean, granted, I know in this picture he is standing on a box, like that's taller, but like even if he was standing next to these women, he's still like much larger. Like, he's still like, look at those freaking shoulders, bro. Like he's a national collegiate athlete. So whether that's what was his ranking, 462 or something? Yeah, 462. Even though he's 462nd in his national ranking, he's still a collegiate athlete. He's still a big dude. He still is going to swim very well, no matter what suppressants he takes. Not a medical professional, just some weird dude on the internet. Yes, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just some weird dude on the internet. Thank you. Could not have said it better. Yeah, I would say he's probably more, because he's tall and probably a little bit more lanky. So I would say like a receiver, yeah, he's a giant to them. And in swimming, guess what happens? We're talking like arm length. We're like to reach out while you're in mid stroke. We're talking the leg length for kicking, the size of your feet, the size of your hands, like little things like that have a significant advantage over someone who is a bit smaller. That's some really, really bad science. Had a lot of that lately. Yeah, I don't understand why, trust the science, but this isn't trusted. Like this has been something that has XX and XY has been something that has been so it's just been very, very black and white, right? But for some reason they don't want to cross the line at this one. Dr. Von Priestley, my Phoenix doesn't work anymore because I didn't cycle off properly. Well, hence the name Flaccid, my friend. Flaccid Phoenix shall always be the state of your Phoenix, unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. The Marines did a study that showed all male combat units were more effective than mixed or female only combat units. That's interesting, dude. I can speak from experience and say that I have seen a bit of that firsthand. There are excellent female Marines, like great, really, really strong and intelligent female Marines, bro. But as far as a male like unit, I think Marine Corps knows how to do that best. I can't fathom the ego involved in this, nor do I want to. Yeah, it is very, very selfish. Um, Samuel says, "Wait, you mean to say he has a wing a ding a long a dong, and they don't make that brother cut them off? So all brother Shaq would have to do is put on a wig and make up, and he could rule the WNBA. If he were taking some sort of suppressant to get his testosterone below 288 nanograms per deciliter, that's exactly right. That is exactly right." Um, Tovia Sagain, you cannot super chat. I'm not monetized, but there is a link at the top of the chat that goes to a Stream Elements link, and you can tip there, and it goes right into the PayPal, it goes right into the channel. But yeah, so that's why the super chats unfortunately don't come up unless you are monetized by YouTube. But that's all right. So I appreciate it. Max says, Zax, what's going on, dude? Thank you for being here, brother. We are into our second topic, talking about Lia Thomas. I'm sorry you missed Eddie versus Thor, but if you didn't know already, Thor beat Eddie. Yes, the Streamlabs link is at the top. Let me check and see what we got going on over on Streamlabs, or excuse me, Stream Elements. There's so many different streaming platforms. You've got Stream Elements, Streamlabs, Stream Beats, which is a great platform if you want lo-fi music, synthwave music that are all non-copyright, stuff like that. Oh boy, we got another one. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Wait, hold on. Okay. Salty Texas C for $5. He said, "Wait until they start telling you they're wizards and have hit you with an imaginary fireball, and so you're dead." And they mean it. Not far from that kind of madness. Utter madness. Whew. Yeah, we're talking some crazy madness, my man. Thank you so much for the $5. I greatly appreciate that. What can we pull out for? Well, you always want to pull out. You always want to be safe. but for you, Salty, I'll pull this one out for you. Still an absolute work of art. Still an absolute, you know what is an absolute triumph? Everyone's been saying these movies recently have been absolute triumphs. Bro, you know what an absolute triumph is? Freaking Lord of the Rings. My goodness, that is a absolute triumph. Thank you for the $5, Salty. I greatly appreciate that. Babylon Bee headlines becoming real every day, every single day, man. And they're getting taken off. What was it, Twitter? Wild, dude. I can't even understand it. Restream or get the fuck out. That's another great one. Yeah. Check the replay. Yeah, it's there's some pretty interesting information. Harley says, not monetized yet. We're all waiting for that so we can get Max demonetized. Yeah, once I get monetized, it won't be very much longer before you guys throw me off the platform. It's all right. Yeah, I should probably StreamYard should probably figure out a way to like take the overlay off when a clip is playing. Because that clip out of context probably would be very jarring with the Lia Thomas controversy title heading on there. So we've kind of gone over the science of this. We've gone over like what this looks like for males to be competing in female sports and the kind of differences that would like entail, and just how unfair that is scientifically on paper, how just ridiculous it seems. But the real concern here is, well, one, where do we go from here? How do we solve this issue? Because obviously it is a issue at hand that a lot of people are discussing. But the other thing that I think needs to be discussed is looking at this picture. A picture speaks 1,000 words, right? do you think that William has this self-awareness to understand that in this photo, these 3 women hate him, that they are but that they're too scared to say anything about what has been happening? Does he have the self-awareness to or the cognizance to say, "What I'm doing is wrong. What I'm doing is just straight cheating." Now, there's a difference between taking steroids in the Olympics or whatever, because many athletes are taking PEDs or performance enhancing drugs, and that is their choice. To get at that type of level, you have to do that. You have to be at a look at the standard of bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding. You cannot professionally bodybuild at a level to where you would want to make the Mr. Olympia without taking some sort of steroid. You can win all the natural competitions that you want, but until you start getting into a higher level of competition, you have to take some sort of steroid or performance enhancing drug. So with that being said, like I said, the issue is, where do we go from here? And does Lia actually know what he is doing? Does William actually know what he is doing? Is he self-aware enough to say, I am cheating? I'm cheating these women out of a title. And the other thing that I've been thinking is, Will has been taking like records. Let's see, smashed 2 U.S. swimming records. Oh, did my camera go off? Okay, here we go. Here's the clip for everybody. Cheers and hail as our second drink of the night commences. That is actually a really interesting point, Tad. He's not cheating because he's doing what is being allowed. Just to be clear, he's doing something morally and ethically wrong, but he is following the rules. Yeah, that's very interesting that you bring that up because, like I said earlier, as long as you are below the certain threshold of a testosterone level of production, you can compete as a female in female NCAA sports. Like, that's the level of insanity that we're at now. So, hey, Michael, great to see you, dude. Hail, everyone's in the chat, he says. He's lost a lot of people behind him too, and egging him on. He is the poster child for them. Roman says he is a disconnected twat. Thank you, Roman. I appreciate your input. Yes, that I would say more of a douche, but everyone has their own versions of that. Please hit that like button. Thank you so much, man, for that Silkies lifestyle. I'd be living it up in my Silkies, man. So yeah, the him breaking all these, smashing, as this article says, this is from the Daily Mail, smashed 2 U.S. swimming records in a record time. He won the 1650 freestyle and the 500 freestyle. Bro, 38 seconds for that first one and 14 seconds on the second one. That is nuts. So my question is, what is going to happen to these records? Are they still going to be honored? Like, is there going to be, like, 5 years down the road when we look back at this, are we going to say, this was weird. This was a weird time in history. I don't think this should be allowed. Let's give those titles, let's give those records back to their original, owners, the people who actually broke, the females, the women who actually broke those records on Female Awareness Month too, or Female Celebration Month. What is it called? Something like, of all months that you could have done this, bro. Come on, seriously. And so with that being said, I just don't know where they go from here as far as, like, do they give these women back their awards? Do they give these women back their times, their records that they have held, once they realize that this is not how to conduct, because, like, say later on, 5 years down the road, we get an NCAA men's swimming, women's swimming, and trans swimming, and XX swimming, or whatever they want to call it. And at that point in time, is that when we give back the female records that have been held for years? And do we give that back to them? Because right now it just feels like as that the Tad that shouldn't be, he says it's very immoral and unethical, and it just seems that way. And I just don't um excuse me, uh should be banned from competition. Transhumanism, that's what this is. They will have an asterisk. Oh, maybe. Yeah, if they're too lazy to actually create a new division or something, they could just add an asterisk. God, that would fucking suck. Like imagine like we were talking about Eddie and Thor earlier, right? And how these guys were Eddie had 1,000 pound 1,020 something pound deadlift. And then imagine having an asterisk by it just to say, oh, well, this was a male who did this deadlift or whatever. Like as opposed to just, yes, you are the world's strongest man or world's strongest person. Like it blows my mind that they would have to accommodate to that by robbing someone of their title or whatnot. Every day is Women Appreciation Day. They should force the current record holders to watch the races live. Oh, interesting. So that brings me to the next question, and this is the other thing that I was going to say that I think is really important is how do you guys feel in the chat? Do the females that have been competing in this sport, do you feel they are the victims here, or do you feel that they are just as much as fault, or they are just as much at fault as everyone else because they didn't speak up, that they didn't turn their backs? Because here's what I imagine, right? All the females are lined up. They're on their blocks. They're all on their diving boards or whatever. They're about to go in. The gun goes up and it's about to shoot off to go, or the beeper is about to go off, and every woman just stands up and steps off stage or steps off the board, the diving board or whatever. And the timer goes off and Lia starts swimming or whatever. And none of them compete. They all just step off and like just, we're not going to compete. We're not going to do this. Dude, imagine that would make history books. That would be like Rosa Parks level of her sitting on the back of the bus. You know what I mean? Like that would be of them taking a stand for something that they believe in and something that they want to compete in. And just totally owning this dude and being like, yeah, dude, like good luck competing, but like we're not going to compete against you. Sorry. That's just not how this works. So what do you guys think? And I'll check the chat in just a second, but do you think that this is just as much on them as it is on Will, otherwise known as Lia? Because I think Will, whether he is like whether he understands it or not, he's at fault. Yes, of course. The NCAA is at fault for not acknowledging the differences between biologically. But then the other thing is, yeah, like I said, do the female swimmers, are they at fault or are they the victims here? And I've heard great points for both arguments. For me, I really want these women to be acknowledged. I want the second place. I think her name was Emma. Bro, I want fucking Emma's face on every goddamn fucking poster on that college, plastered everywhere with a big first place on it. I want that because she earned first place, bro. But she could have stood up and said, I'm just not even going to compete. And maybe impacted even more so her sport. She could have been historically, renowned for that. I don't know. So let me check the chat and see what you guys think, because this is a really interesting topic. And though we've gone over the science and like I went over the, nanograms per deciliter and stuff, you guys are probably snoring during that whole segment. But let's check what you guys have to say as far as what you guys think about what some of these females should or shouldn't have done. They don't want to separate male, female, and trans. They want to deconstruct society. Oh, interesting. Established biology. Yes. Okay. Functional economics in order to implement Marxism. Interesting, Tad. Thank you for sharing that, brother. I don't know enough about Marxism to speak on this more, but I can understand what you're saying as far as a certain group of people wanting to kind of deconstruct and de-establish social norms and constructs. Wait for men to go into NCAA women's volleyball. Oh my god, that's gonna be frightening. Oh, I don't want to watch that. What I don't understand is why the women are agreeing to compete. Just walk out and protest. Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. Let's just remove all mention of gender from sports and let people compete with swords, axes, and shields. We'll call it war. Oh God, Harley, that's you got to be careful with that, brother, because the thing with that is that when we call it war, like I don't think people are kidding. Like people want a legit civil war. I mean, we're getting there. It's getting real close. It's not far off. Okay, let me try this. All right, maybe now we can hear it. I've shared the tab, so maybe that will fix things a bit. No, I don't want it full screen. Now you guys can see my ugly face full screen. Look at that. And I'll take our banner off as well. Okay, let's check the comments again. The girls today will still get screwed out of their scholarship sponsor. Okay, so I've heard this argument as well, Roman. And the rebuttal that I think would be kind of interesting to see is if a conservative were to speak at a college or a collegiate event, every liberal who spoke out against that conservative speaking at the event would be in their rights to do so, and probably would be prided for doing so. They would get a lot of accolades, and people would say that they are the future, that they are the heroes, that they are on the right side of history. But if a conservative was to protest against a liberal or leftist speaking at a school, that would be uncalled for, unheard of. They would get their scholarship stripped. They would be called bigots, and their lives, their careers would be ruined because of what they believe in. Completely unfair and biased. And so with the screwed out of their scholarship sponsorships things, I wonder what would happen if those women, those young women like Emma, who should have won first place, if she were to speak up, I wonder if it would have been something that she would have lost her scholarships or sponsorships because of where we're at right now in society. That's pretty interesting. So that was my concern, is I was like, well, they can't speak out because they risk their careers, they risk their lives. They will forever be known as transphobes or whatever, and then be labeled as such for the rest of their lives, which would be awful. So yeah, scared of getting canceled. These women are weak. If they wanted fight this, they should have stood up. Interesting, Flaccid. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if they're weak. I think they are just scared, and I think that's understandable. I think that's okay for them to be scared. Especially, I mean, bro, they're like 20 something. Like, it's gonna be being scared in this circumstance, especially with how volatile people are, bro. Like, some of the comments that I've gotten on this platform have been like heinous, have been awful. If I were 22, I would have breakdowns trying to read some of these comments. So I don't know if they are necessarily weak. I think that they are just scared, and I think that's understandable. I blame the college admins, the tenured neo-Marxist professors, the media, and not these young women caught in the middle. Yeah, that's a great point, Corey. Holy shit. Yeah, dude. These poor girls should have had someone to fight with them, or at least for them. Because if these girls are afraid of getting canceled, if they're afraid of getting torn up by society or culture, they should have had someone on their side to fight for them. That would have been an amazing moment. Yeah, talking about them walking away from the pool, that would have been freaking rad, right? They'd all be expelled. And that's the thing, is like, would they risk that expulsion? Would they risk their college career and maybe potentially even their future job career, bro? You know, man, I don't know. They turn their back, chances are they lose their scholarship or something, and they've been conditioned in college. Yeah, a lot of those. I mean, I remember my most recent girlfriend was 23, just got out of college recently, and one of the classes that she took as of like her last classes was diversity, inclusion, and equity, not equality. Diversion, inclusion, and equity was the class that was the legitimate fucking class title on her, like, you know, portfolio or whatever you want to call it, her class schedule. And that's where they learn a lot of, you know, your opinion doesn't matter, but this opinion, this right opinion, that's the one that matters. And that's what's so scary, is like so much of this is conditioning and not free thinking. The women are victims, but they're all completely at fault. Interesting, because they won't come out publicly against this. Every one of them, from the competitors to the coaches in universities, as well. For sure. I now with the coaches, like, fuck the coach. Like, dude should know better. He's a dude who's like allowing a male into his locker room, into his girl's locker room. Like, nah, dog. I'm sorry, but that ain't it. That ain't it. You hear too many horror stories of, you know, physical, emotional, mental, you know, rape and abuse in those locker rooms from men who do some pretty horrible shit. Like, men tend to be more violent, more aggressive. And just because you're taking a hormone that's going to suppress some of that stuff, like, I don't know, man. Now, I'm not saying every man is like that. I'm not saying every trans man is like that. Don't hear me say that. There are trans men that are wonderful people. I'm sure that they are absolutely well off mentally, psychologically, physically, all that stuff. But you hear too many horror stories about what goes on in a private or public bathroom or locker room or something. So when you mention the coaches and like the universities, like, I absolutely think it's more of the higher ups that should have stopped this shit in its tracks. They are the victims. They have worked so hard to be where they are and risk losing all of that. But I think it'll come to that when they realize they can't win. Interesting. I know that there are some girls that are fighting and speaking out against this. I just don't know how many it's going to take to kind of reverse some of these scores. These girls, I'm sure, would have kneeled for the national anthem even though they never seen any racist act in their life. Oh, God. I mean, you know, some of them definitely kind of follow whatever is like popular, like, or whatever is just socially acceptable. They probably don't want to make waves. They probably don't want to stand out from the crowd. They just want to play their sport. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's so sad, is like, is it too much to ask that people just fucking play their sport? Like, I just want to play football. Do I really have to decide if I need to kneel or stand during the national anthem, bro? I just want to fucking play football. Same thing with swimming. Do I really have to decide if I want my career or my scholarship or my livelihood at fault because I don't want to swim against a guy? Like, do I really have to be making these decisions? I just want to fucking swim. That's what really is so upsetting. It's like, there's just no good reason for any of this. You can get time off work. You can get a gold medal for shot put. I actually did shot put in high school. I was never good at shot put. Wrestling was way more fun and I was better at it. Shot put, I was so bad, bro. The girl who should have been fourth got suspended from Twitter for speed. Whoa, I didn't know that, Roman. See, dude, God, it's so fucked. Thank you for letting me know. Spoiler warning: equity means no freedom, no voice, no economic mobility, no dissent, no opportunity, no dignity. There's your equity. Equity's scary, man. The Underground says, "Hey guys, what's going on, dude? Thanks for being here. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi, Underground. Not in this dojo, but I don't actually have a dojo. Punk Waddle, thank you for being here as well. Steve says, man, I wish I could speak up for them. I have nothing to lose. If someone tries to cancel me, I can pull the disabled card and cancel them for being... Oh, there you go. Hating on the blind. Wow. Steve, do you have a like a percentage of disability for like, are you vision impaired? I guess I would say. The reality is there are unpaid female athletes. If they stand up, they may never have a career of any kind. They're not Kaepernick and rich. Dude, Kaepernick has so much money, he doesn't even know what to do with it. I think women's sports will turn into satire before we'll have an honest conversation. Ooh, yeah, I would hate to say that, Zax, but yeah, I don't see this going well for women's sports, unfortunately, because you have there. It's kind of like it's scary because they're the Underground says, does Zooby still hold the women's deadlift record? Oh god, I didn't even know he held that. That's wild. Pop Culture Mechanic, hey, good evening all. He says, thank you, Pop Culture Mechanic. Thanks for being here, dude. I love that avatar. That's super rad. That's super cool. I like that a lot. All right, I'm being directed to my stream elements. Let's see here. Oh, nice. All right. It looks like Dovyande se Tovia, and I can't read the rest of your name, brother. It's cutting off for me, unfortunately. He says he just gives $5. Dude, awesome. Thank you so much for the $5. I greatly appreciate the 5. Let me play something a little bit different. We haven't played this one yet. Here you go. Daredevil Season 1 coming in with that boom Superman punch. Thank you, Dovie, for the $5. That is epic, brother. I greatly appreciate that. And Michael with $10. Oh my goodness, thank you. He says, so did I hear right? I was driving earlier. Is this Lia Thomas chick replacing McKenna? Oh no, Michael, how dare you say such blasphemy? Of course not. I would never let Will on this stream. Now, granted, if Will wanted to talk about this stuff, maybe I would talk to him about it. But even still, I just yeah, don't worry. Lia is not replacing McKenna. McKenna is much prettier and probably could still beat him in a swimming competition. I don't know. We'll see. But for that generous $10 donation, I will give you some Vikings goodness.
Off into the overtime field. Come with a heart of steel. Cold is the ocean spray. Your death is on its way.
I love that saying. Cold is the ocean spray. Your death is on its way. Each must die someday, as they would say. And I wanted to fit that last part in, but I couldn't because they would probably get me on copyright. So, no man can replace McKenna. As the Witch King would say, no man can kill me. Are we doing Bible verses 2? And he answered and said to them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? I don't know the actual verse, but I'm sure anyone looking up in Genesis can probably find all the good stuff of how God created male and female. Salty Texas, Corey, dude, you are unreal tonight. Thank you so much for these tips, man. He says, excuse me, this is for having the balls, like swimmer Lia, to talk about this and hear out all sides. Mad respect. Thanks, dude. I greatly appreciate your sentiment, and it really does mean a lot. I can get a lot of shit for kind of playing both sides, or at least hearing people out and not being very direct or saying, well, I don't know, because I feel like I'm direct at times, but I also listen to people and I say, well, maybe look at it this way, or maybe if I thought about it in a different capacity or different fashion. But that can get me in trouble sometimes. Who knows? So I do appreciate that. And for that $5, we shall play another fantastic one.
I'll dance with you.
Damn. I'll dance with you. Fuck yeah, dude. What a great clip. That Shield Wall poem is so awesome, right? Yeah, thanks, Shield Wall. It's one of my favorites. like I said, it's such a cool quote. Wait, you mean you get shit for being a normal person with reason and logic? You know, how odd is that? Huh. Weird. You would think that, oh, I don't want to do the fucking dumb, play dumb like character. You know, like when people they play dumb, where they go, oh, interesting. Does Lia have balls? I didn't know that. Like, it's funny at times, but I don't think I can play it off. I think I do much more of a better, just level-headed character, if you will. I don't really have a character, but I see people do the whole sarcasm thing. Maybe I'm just not good at it. But yeah, Shield Wall, you would think that being a normal person, having some logic, having some reason, and being open to different conversations would allow me to speak to more people and also get my thoughts out there. But a lot of time doesn't work out in my favor, but that's all right. That escalated quickly. Logic is clearly racist. Of course, Harley. We're in 2022, my man. God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Yeah, dude. Beautiful. And he breathed life into them. Tovia, bro, college girls are insane. I was literally called a racist for hitting on an Asian girl. Yeah, wouldn't that mean that you like Asian women? That you find her attractive? So odd. Max could hold the women's wrestling record. Marines. Wow. Roman, what are you coming in here with that hate, my man? You coming in with some tongue of Mordor, my friend. That was very oof. Man, I gotta recover from that one. Yeah, women's wrestling, bro. Our best women wrestler could probably destroy your best male wrestler, just simply because of her Marine Corps status. She's had to been put through the ringer, bro. Roman says, "I promised McKenna." No, you didn't. You just did that of your own fruition or volition. I'm not sure which would be the more correct term in this instance. Alasia for $2. Thank you, Alasia. I greatly appreciate that. She goes, I'm just happy to have found ladies in this fellowship who will stand up for women. Yes, I agree. I don't feel like I'd have to remind any of you to walk me out to my car late at night, unlike all the guys I know personally. Thank you all for being awesome. Well, I appreciate you, Alasia. I think all the gentlemen here appreciate you, and all the females in this fellowship, and all the females just in general who are brave enough to stand up for their beliefs, for what they hold dear to them, whether that's their family, their career, their kids, their aspirations, their goals, their hobbies, whatever it is. We will stand up for women, and we won't be simps. Look at that. Or incels or cucks or anything like that. We're just normal guys who want what's right for women, and obviously Lia Thomas is not the right move or decision for women and their sports. So but yes, Alasia, you can always count on us to walk you out to the car, open your door, pay for dinner, all that good stuff. Salty says it's not just Christian belief systems. All theologies hold that same problematic binary point of view. I would have to look into more of them, because when I studied, like I studied Christian ministry in college as a minor, so I only took a few classes, but there was a option to take like spiritual classes, that kind of goes over a vast, like Buddhism, Judaism, what else? I guess like Muslim practices and stuff, Hinduism, all these different religions that I never really got a chance to understand or read more of. So I'm sure you are, I'm sure you're right, man, because you're a very knowledgeable intellectual individual. But yeah, I'm sure that most religions would practice the male-female categories. Let's see. Oh, we talking about Japan? When did we start talking about Japan? Did I miss something? But boy, where's my clip? Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Let me get you a clip, Alasia. I'll get you. I don't think we've seen this one yet, but let me know what you think.
There's always hope.
Oh, gives me chills every single time. Oi, where's my clip? Your clip is Aragorn, son of Arathorn. There's always hope. Pop culture mechanics says it comes down to fairness. It really is fair. Is it really fair to biological women? I have to say no. And you know what's interesting is that a lot of people would say that that it's not fair, but because it's not socially acceptable, and because a lot of these people are being called transphobes, it's unfortunate. Let me pull up. And the Underground, I have religious studies minor. That's awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing that. I studied. I was gonna do chaplaincy for the Marine Corps, but then I realized that the Marine Corps doesn't actually utilize their own chaplains. They utilize the naval chaplains, and then they bring them into the unit. So Marine Corps doesn't actually employ chaplains. So I said, well, if I can't be a chaplain, I'd rather prefer to be a Marine, and I can still lead my men with my basis of faith intact and not have to necessarily have it be a chaplain. So I just got my minor in it as opposed to a major. Yes, love that one. Okay, glad you enjoyed it. Squids for the win. Oh, and this is what, number 3 tonight? I think so. Hail to drink number 3, everyone. Gotta stay hydrated. Yep, just like their Corpsman shield wall. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our last segment of the night, which we are going to look through the Punisher comic. This has been the anticipating comic where you see, does Punisher have a new logo or not? Because everyone's been saying, oh, this is his old logo, right? So where's the new one? It's in here. Is it going to be what everyone thought it was going to be? So I'm going to pull this out. If I didn't mention already before, this was from Coffee and a Comic. You guys can purchase comics through him. He's here in California. Wonderful dude. Great comic book retailer. Does a lot of cool stuff for the community. And here's the variant cover. So this is the same issue, but it's a different cover. Beautiful Alex Ross painting of the Punisher. I love that classic old school look. So I had to grab a copy of it. I had to. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to no, bear with me. You guys are going to watch this real time, so I think this is going to actually be pretty funny. But we're going to take my webcam here. Oh boy. And I'm going to share it with y'all so that we can look through this Punisher comic. Now, hopefully in the future I can already have this set up, but for now, I'm just going to put it right in front of me so everyone is able to see what we're looking at. Oh, looks like Salmon is in the chat. Hello, Devin. Great to see you, dude. Thank you for being here. Oh, look at that. All right, and then I'm going to bring the comic over here. And hopefully that's going to work for us tonight. And then we'll... You guys ready? You guys ready for this? Hopefully this works. We're going to add this bad Larry here. I'm going to put him to the side. I'm going to actually... How do I want to do this? Stay with me, boys. Look at that. Guys, now we're talking. Now we are talking. That's dope. Hey, check it out. Look at that setup. Yeah, Devin, I am going to read you guys a bedtime comic. That's just what we're going to do now. Get ready for the ultimate dick. God, wouldn't that be the worst if like the camera was just staring straight into my dick and I had no idea, and I turned this camera on and everyone was like, "Oh God, put it away. It's awful." All right. So yeah, this is kind of cool. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me tonight. You're welcome, son. My pleasure. Page 2 and 3 are awesome. I agree, Michael. Yeah, Untamed Mando, thank you. Setup looks fantastic. I appreciate that. You guys. Are pants still optional when live streaming? Pants have always been a no-go for me, brother. I always rock shorts, silkies, or nothing during a live stream. You know, from here up, you got to be fairly presentable, but for the most part, anything other than that, kind of, you know, whatever. So, please don't clip that. YouTube will not like that answer. Okay, well, let's do this thing. If you guys have never read a comic book before, or checked one out, we'll just kind of go through this page by page, and I'm not going to take too long. I just kind of want to give you guys a brief overview of like the story and everything. So Punisher issue number 1, written by Jason Aaron, which for the most part a lot of people were kind of hesitant because he has not been putting out a lot of good recent stories as of late. So because of that, there was a lot of tension, there was a lot of backlash, especially with the new logo and everything. So this had a lot of controversy behind it, but I think it actually ended up looking pretty rad. So in these first few panels, you kind of hear the audience, or not the audience, but people like that are onlooking saying, they're shooting in the park. I don't know. There were a bunch of them shooting each other and they ran away, but there are people here shot. Oh Lord, there are children. Please, please hurry. And so we find that sure enough, this is actually the scene that creates the Punisher. This is the very scene that we see his lovely wife and his 2 children that are, I believe, oh, you know what? I think they show the kids up here. Yeah. They say kids are definitely deceased. Focus all resources on her and the guy. On scene with 2 adults who have multiple through and through gunshot wounds and chest through the chest and abdomen. You're hearing like the paramedics come in. You're seeing Punisher like reaching out to his wife. It's a very visceral scene, and then everything just goes red. Super visceral and kind of creepy because you realize like this is the Punisher's origin. This is like we're reliving what he had to go through again. We're being retold this story. But then, boy, look at this layout, dude. This was such a dope layout. They kind of did this with some of the Venom issues a few issues back where they had all the Venom covers. But this last panel, the paramedics are saying, "No, don't close your eyes. Stay with us. What's your name? Who are you?" And then the next page layout goes, "Frank Castle is the Punisher." And it just shows all of these like dope covers that he's had throughout the years. So you have like, let's see. So here's the first fight between Punisher and Wolverine. That was a Jim Lee cover. You have the Jim Lee like War Zone cover. War Journal cover. You have the War Zone cover by Chuck Dixon, or Chuck Dixon wrote that one with John Romita Jr. drawing. You have the first first issue of the Punisher for the most part. What other ones are there that are pretty cool? I think this was this was Punisher Max. So yeah, you're just like seeing all these different Punishers throughout the years, and it's so rad how they did that. And then the King of Killers, we get the title of the actual comic book. So then next we are introduced to some beautiful artwork. I'm digging this art. Now it's not the most as you guys can see, it's very static. There's not a lot of movement in the art. The storytelling is kind of very basic. They just kind of look static, like in this shot, for instance. But I mean, for the most part, this art is really beautiful. Like even the coloring on the helmet and everything really did well. Let me check the chat here real quick. Oh, Steve, it would not be worse if I were wearing silkies. Come on, brother. Punk Waldo says, well, the gato is out of the bag, people. The gato is out of the bag. The gato, more than just the gato is out of the bag. The something else is out of the pants if I'm not wearing anything on streams. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. People still wear pants? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Harley. On streams, it's like, bro, you got to be comfy. The free ball stream confirmed. Is this like poor McKenna? She's gonna come back and like people are gonna be like, McKenna, Max isn't wearing any pants. He's like free balling on stream. It's not true. I'm wearing pants. It's fine. Steve says, poor Frank. I know, dude. Such a horrible scene. Not to be too agreeable, however, the logo change in the context of the story worked for me and made sense. Also, page 4 and 5 are good too. What a spread. Yeah, dude. How cool is that? I remember when the Punisher first came out, he was so badass. Max, not Maz, I hate myself. Oh, he says, I'm back. I hope you didn't go all silky. Did you read Punisher, Max? That was amazing. Dude, the Punisher Max series was so good. So freaking good. Garth Ennis, however you want to pronounce it. That, god damn, that series was so freaking good. Because it was brutal, bro. It was like, because if anyone's read The Boys, it's kind of like that, where it's just super. I mean, it's no holds bar, like anything goes. He's just killing people left and right. Yeah. Well, more clippable moments. Yep, right. I'm telling Mom. Yep, you guys can clip it and send it to McKenna, and she'll never come back on. That would be horrible. Max has been commando for every stream. I won't say yes or no. Joe, hey Joe, great to see you here, brother. He says, I've heard from enough people that this issue was better than they expected, so I'm probably going to check it out soon. Yeah, Joe, well, first of all, brother, thank you for being here. Always great to see you. Guys, Joe Carollo is a famous award-winning comic book editor and writer. This dude is awesome. He has been on a couple streams with me. And yeah, go check out his graphic novel, Beckstar. I've read some of his stuff and it's really intriguing. So, but yeah, he's got a graphic novel out right now called Beckstar. You can find it on Amazon, your local comic shop, whatnot. So, Joe, I would definitely recommend it. There are people who still say that like this really doesn't get into the character of who Frank is, which I can understand. I can see that for the most part. The logo change, which we're going to see right here, right meow, if you guys can see that. Sorry if there's a glare. But with the logo change, it was very it was in step with how the story was going. It made sense for the most part. I'm kind of hoping, and we'll get to this towards the end of the book, but I'm kind of hoping that Frank is almost kind of brainwashed, which may be the case once we see that final splash page. But I'm wondering if Frank is actually kind of being manipulated and brainwashed with the hand, who he is now working for. So with this logo change, I almost kind of wish they just made it black. Like, why does he need a logo to fight for the hand? You know what I mean? Like, it would look so much better if this black plate was just black, or if maybe he just like anything honestly would have looked better. I'm not a fan of the logo, but I think it works for the most part with the story, and that's hey, that's me being a cynic about some of this stuff. And I didn't see that it was forcefully input into the story. Like it makes sense. It for the most part works. Just downloaded Punisher Max and the Boys comics. Dude, read them, Steve. They're fantastic. Hey, Kaylee. Thank you for being here. Great to see you. Yeah, they focused on the art for sure. But the story's not bad either. The logo change, it is a step in the wrong direction. Is this where he goes, okay? No. I don't think so, because as you guys will see in the last splash page, he definitely still has his characteristics behind him. I'll say that. I think they will eventually go back to the old logo. I mean, at some point they will. It's like, kind of like the death of Wolverine, the death of Superman. Every hero has changes, but it's just how drastic those changes are, and if it's necessary to the story, if it does anything for the fans, if it's and if it actually means something to the creator. But a lot of times it's a lot of committee stuff, so so you never know why people change superheroes. But for the most part, a lot of them will change and move and go different directions, and will finally come back to the core, which is what really sells. I mean, look at Green Lantern and Kyle Rayner. Like, Kyle Rayner's sales back in the 90s were not that great from what I remember, until you had our boy Hal Jordan come back. So okay, so getting into the meat of this bad Larry, we see these guys that are saying like, bless the war, bless the war, we are the apostles, we live to serve the war. And these guys are kind of like in this cultish type of organization, but all these text bubbles here are all reading off weapons. So each one of these boxes are filled with some sort of like insane weapon. That, like, this one is called banner cannons, a new one fresh from the R&D department, gamma powered minigun, like if the Hulk was a machine gun. So we're talking weapons of mass destruction here, pretty much. And this guy just says like, understood. Or so they're saying His Holiness the General wants them all filled today, because they're, I guess, shipping these out to all their respective clients. So then they get pretty much in a firefight. This panel up here says, shots fired at the gate, we're under attack. That's impossible. They have a visual, one man. They say it's the Punisher right before they got cut off. And you're like now realizing the weight of the situation. You're like, oh, fuck, he's coming. And then come in front gate. Anyone at the front gate respond. We all know the Holy General's orders. Anyone who interferes with his missionaries shall be sacrificed like dogs on the pyre. Today we spread the word of the Lord, my brothers. And then they get all these like supersonic, hyper-powered weapons. Kill anything you see, apostles. And then right as he's about to say like, bless the war, which is their little cult phrase, boom, lights go off, baby. And guess who comes out swinging, boys? It's our man. Frank is just hidden in the shadows, and he's like looking around. There's just death, just absolute destruction around him. And he just looks down at his like severed arm. I don't know if you guys can see that. And he goes, how? And he's looking like, dude, this panel right here is wild. Like, you can see the whites of his eyes and everything. And so we see the, I guess the silhouette of Punisher. He goes, who do you work for? Very simple. Man of few words. So this Spartan cult general leader, if you want to call him that, he doesn't say anything. And Punisher goes, the Hydra Cell is dead, the Warlord is dead, Hatemonger is dead. Within a week, they'll all be dead. Every one of your clients. Who do you work for? Basically saying like, listen, man, just give me the information. Doesn't matter. All of your dudes are dead. Like, just let me know. You have no idea what'll happen to me if I betray him. I know what'll happen if you don't. You mean you'll kill me? For people like you, there's nothing worse than me. I love that. For people like you, there's nothing worse than me. Because this guy down here says, oh, he can do worse. Talking about his general, the guy who employs him. The Punisher's like, for people like you, there's nothing worse than me. I love it. Either answer my question or pick up your gun. So this guy decides, oh, in an act of hubris, he shall pick up his gun to try and take out Punisher. Dude, Punisher whacks this dude. And he says, ours is a rabid world. And you can see kind of over here, his throat just being totally slit and opened up. I still don't know how I feel about the sword usage. They even like refer back to it. Like here, I think Punisher says something like, yeah, he says, not very good with this thing yet. Because he slits the dude's throat here, but the guy's still breathing. So Punisher just, like a freaking savage, puts it right through his chest. So pretty cool. Like I said, I still don't know how I feel. Like, this Punisher needs to be freaking wielding double miniguns or Uzis or something. Like, he needs to be coming out smoking with a 240, what was it, 249, like one of those machine guns, and just be taking some of these guys out. But it seems to be that he's more stealthy now because he's joined the Hand. So for some people it's going to work, others maybe not so much. He says inflicting pain on one another was humankind's earliest form of communication. This is why the sickly ones were drawn here centuries ago, to seed the rest of the world, to seed the red word of the beast in fertile soil. For this they need earthly disciples, prophets of suffering, monks devoted to the painstaking mastery of the first and finest of all human art forms. So you think that this is Punisher speaking all this, but it turns out it's actually the Hand, or I guess the woman who is the owner of the Hand here. For this unholy purpose, the Hand was born, as this little title says. So Punisher kind of comes in, does the dirty work. He says, take the weapons, burn the rest. And as you can see, the Hand then takes his order, takes out everyone else. Let's see here. Shieldwell says, also can't show guns in a hero's hands these days because guns are bad. Dude, Shieldwell, they legit are taking weapons away from some of Toy Biz or Toy Wiz or something like that. Some of the action figures, some of the hot toys that have been ordered are without weapons, like without firearms. So we're talking, guns, anything like that. So I'm wondering if they are taking Punisher's weapons away for that purpose of trying to exclude guns from the conversation. I don't know if that would necessarily make sense though, because later, like, we see him utilizing them. So I don't know. But yeah, so I have been hearing that some of the action figures are going to be taking away some of the guns. One of the recent twists made to Punisher that I enjoyed was when Frank stole the War Machine suit. That was a fun little arc. Yeah, I read that. I think a lot of people, because he just totally stole... Well, you're right, Monopoly Loser, which, by the way, thank you for being here. Yeah, there were a lot of people who liked that little arc. It was kind of interesting. Dual-wielding twin M19s would be sweet. Hell yeah, dude. That would be super rad. All right. My mouse isn't working. There we go. So Punisher gets back to, like, the base, if you will. And this woman who is the, I guess, leader of the Hand. She says, from our citadel deep within a forgotten forest, a place no one can find unless they've been there before, we soldiers of the Hand have served for many centuries the world's finest assassins for hire, but our higher goal was always the mastery of killing itself, to become walking defilers of all that God has made, to honor the beast one murder at a time. This is the way of the sickly ones, the veterans of the oldest war, and my way as well as the archpriestess of the Hand. Our new High Slayer returns, I pray. The will of the beast has been realized in most exquisitely gruesome fashion. So basically she's saying her art form is murder. Like, the reason why she's created the Hand is murder, to honor this beast one murder at a time. Punisher kind of reports back to her, tells her, this is what we found. We didn't get any information, but we burned everything, and boom, out of there. He then goes... Or she talked about how, she's like, do you want to perhaps retire to your chambers? She says in this panel over here. And he goes, are the hunters back? And I'm thinking, the hunters? He goes, I'll see them now. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Are hunters? Like, what does that even mean? And she goes, the day's catch. So in this whole panel right here, dude, this was what really made me go, okay, we're in a Punisher comic now. She says, murderers who went free, rapists, abusers of children from all parts of the world, all found and brought before you by your most faithful disciples. Your ninjas would be proud to dispense with them for their high slayer in whatever torturous fashion he so desires. And Punisher just says no. She says, I make the offer every day, knowing he will decline. It is a fine example to the others of the power of his dedication, the white-hot focus of his rage. He is the Punisher. He swings the sword. So essentially, the hunters of the hand gather murderers, rapists, abusers of children, people who have gone free. They gather them up, tie them up in this like room, and Punisher fucking takes out the trash every single day, every single night. That's insane, dude. That is like, and he does it himself. He just murks all these awful people. So pretty interesting. I thought that was kind of a cool touch that they did with this. Then we go back weeks earlier, and we see kind of Frank in his bedroom. And the hand attacks him at his home of residence, and you see him just already getting prepared to take these dudes out. And of course, the archpriestess or archpriestess, whatever you'd want to call her, she's there, and she's watching in horror as Punisher just starts decapitating some of these dudes. Oh, this is Punisher talking about the people that he had just found from the hunters or whatever. Corey from Salty, Texas says, got a split today. Totally awesome show, Max. Hail to the chat. Thank you, Salty. Great seeing you, brother. I will see you tomorrow. And Harley says, good night, Shieldwall. Thanks for hanging out. Shieldwall, if you got to go, thank you for being here. Shieldwall says, crap, lost track of time. Gotta bounce. Great stream in. Later, everyone. So glad I found this channel. Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Alasia goes, sheesh, this is intense. Sheesh. I can't do the high sheesh. I can only do a low sheesh. Good stream tonight, Max. Really enjoyed it. Later, chat. See you later, Cajun. Thanks for being here, dude. Flash says, I really enjoyed these next few pages. It's almost like he has to get jumped in by a gang. I know, right, dude? He kind of has to get, like, initiated into this gang, which, like, he doesn't need initiation. He's the freaking Punisher. But still pretty cool how they did it. So Punisher takes off. Frank starts to walk back to his lair, his quarters. You see his like wall of his mount of weapons. You see his old Punisher logo here with a couple bloodstains on it, kind of like in a mural. I don't know what that's about. That could be kind of interesting. But he starts to take off his armor to get into bed, and we do like a flashback weeks earlier where he's just taking dudes out like one by one. And the archpriestess, she says, I watched the king hold court as the king of killers takes hold of these hand members, and he's just getting rocked in some of these. Like, let's see. So he's got like a shotgun that he takes off the wall and blasts some dude in the chest, and then he starts getting like ninja throwing stars like straight into his face and in his arm, all through his chest. He's getting pushed back like into the fridge where he grabs like another sword or knife or something, just starts like nailing people with it. So these were like actually pretty like fun like action pages where there isn't a lot of dialogue, but it's just like straight action. Like this one, he straight up takes a freaking chainsaw and just starts nailing this dude. Like his whole shoulder is just blown out. And like I said, the art in this is fantastic. Really well done. The coloring was really something else too. Dude takes my man Punisher has these front towards enemy, these like little landmines that he demolishes this whole room with. And I love the archpriestess's face because she's like, oh, we are totally fucked. Like I've literally seen my entire group of my men, my soldiers, my army here being taken out by one dude. She says, I watched as the closest I've ever had to children, the loyal ninja I had raised since birth, died in droves. And then here's the aftermath. You can see her face again, just totally stunned. So she then says, after he's taken everyone out and he's just cut, like he's just bloodied and battered, she goes, "Magnificent. Now please tell me, Francis Castiglione, does one of these belong to you?" And he just pulls out his gun on her and he goes, "No, but this does. Who sent you?" Badass, dude. Great response. Like, no questions asked. Well, there is a question asked, but like he just takes out his gun and just like, "Don't play with me. Who are you? What is going on?" But she says, "Yes, I thought you might say that, but we have something that might change your mind." Boom. So then we see that the hand bring in someone of note. We don't know who. But she goes, "Now look closely at me, Frank, or now look closely and tell me, Frank, do you see anything that belongs to you?" And like you can just see his eyes welling up, and I don't know if it's like in fear, in terror, in adoration, in sadness. You don't really know. So then it goes on. It says, "It will take more time and much more killing. But he has come so far already. Every day he grows stronger, closer to unleashing the power that was hidden within him for so long, the power of the beast." And then he goes into bed with a woman who says, "I have missed you, my love." And sure enough, as we see on the next page, a power that defies death itself. And he says, "I missed you too, Maria," which is his wife. And you see the wife with all the bullet hole like scars in her, like across the face, across the chest. And Frank has just gotten in bed with his wife, who was dead, which created the Punisher. So that is Punisher issue number 1. Let me move myself over here and we'll get rid of this guy for now. Oh, it's about that time again. Let me play our clip for us tonight. Cheers, everyone. I think that's number 4 it's for tonight. So yeah, what did you guys think of Punisher issue number 1? I'm torn because, like I said, if anything is going to make him wear that dumb logo and make him fight for the hand, it's going to be his wife. It's going to be them bringing her back to life so he can be with her. I want to say that is the reason. He could be brainwashed by her, by whatever powers or magic that the hand might be utilizing. But at this point, I don't know if maybe is Frank too far gone at this point? Is he too much of a psychopath to realize literally nothing at this point could save me from this righteous cause that he has of just killing every bad guy possible? Or do you think there's still a bit of him in there that could be oh wow, Maria's here, my wife is back, I can hold her in my arms again, and she's worth me taking up this new mantle, being part of this new clan, and fighting for something I don't really want to fight for. But if it means getting Maria back, I don't know. What do you guys think? I know Flash, he says, that page, bro, my mind was blown. So it was a great ending. Roman says, mind control. Did you read Batman the Cult? I did not actually read that one, Roman. I don't think I read Batman the Cult. So a Trouble Green, yes. So Maria is dead. She was caught in the crossfire years ago that created the Punisher, because Maria died along with Frank's children caught in the crossfire of a gang war. And so Frank lived, though. And so from that point on, Frank vowed to always and forever be the Punisher. But the Hand somehow has figured out a way. The Hand is this ninja organization, this assassin murderous group. The Hand has found a way somehow to bring Maria back to life, is what this comic looks like it's saying. And so I wonder if they're brainwashing him with that information and utilizing that as kind of a manipulation to get him to fight for them and don this new Punisher logo. I don't know. So a Trouble Green, was it a dream? I don't think so. I don't think that if it were a dream, I don't think he would be fighting for the hand if it were just a dream. Like, it would have to be legitimate. Like, she would have to be there for him to fight for them. It's different, but I'm going to follow through. Good questions. Yeah, same with me, Flash. I'm not too sure about it, but I mean, could be interesting. Joe says her being back is a bit too on the nose for my taste, but I'll try it out. I'll have to tell you one of my Punisher ideas. Oh my God. Joe, please do. Yeah, DM me. I'd love to hear your Punisher idea. Yeah, the bringing her back is pretty, like, it's on the nose. I think that's a good way of describing it. It's not too nuanced, but like I said, if anything is going to make Punisher don this new logo on his chest and fight for an organization that he cares like literally nothing about, I think it's going to have to be something like Maria to kind of bring him back into the fold. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm going to follow through, see what happens. Alasia, sorry, I was trying to pay attention but got distracted. No worries, that's totally fine. She's probably a clone and they're using her to make... So the only reason I don't think she's a clone is because she has the bullet holes. Like, she has the scars of the bullet holes riddling, or like riddled on her skin. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they did a Wolverine storyline years ago where they brought Wolverine's wife back to get him to help a ninja clan. Comics recycle stories all the time, brother. I wouldn't be too surprised. Punisher is Marvel. Punisher is absolutely Marvel. There's a great comic called Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. It's a lot of fun. I'm not joking when I say I know zip about comics. Hey, that's why you're here. That's why it's so great. So I appreciate it, Alasia. Also, the Hand is asking the Punisher to kill people he would probably kill already. True. I mean, now he's just like, literally the Hand had that big room of people that just like lined up, like ready for him to just take out. And like the hunters would bring in like these awful criminals for Punisher to just like, done. Like, you're done just absolutely murdering these people. So he kind of has this like kennel, this, you know, kennel of awful people that he can just go into and just be like, yep, we're going to take them out. So kind of an interesting comic book. But yeah, what did you guys think? Let me know in the chat or in the comment section below. I am going to head out. I got to take some family to the airport. I know it's late. I got to drive all the way to LAX, boys. Whew. It's going to be a long drive. Long drive. And if you guys have ever been to LAX, that airport is miserable. It is awful. Let me tell you. Roman, thank you so much for being here. This was a fun show. Have a great week. Thank you, brother. Have a great week. You know, I didn't get a chance before we end the stream. I didn't get a chance to pull something out of the room to say like, oh, here's part of my man cave. But I promise next week I will have something prepared and ready. I didn't expect to go over time. We're about a little bit above 2 hours, and I like to keep it right around there. But everyone, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. This was so much fun. I appreciate all from everyone. That was fantastic from the Stream Elements link. You guys are always on fire and so supportive, and I can't thank y'all enough. But this was fun. Hey, episode 1 of Max's Man Cave. What did y'all think? This was super fun for me. I love doing stuff like this. I could talk all day, but unfortunately, alas, the road calls. Joe says, I haven't been to LAX in like 5 years, but I was in San Diego the other week. Oh, Joe, I would have come to visit. I'm not too far from San Diego. Let me know next time. I think WonderCon is in Anaheim, not this weekend, but next weekend. So if you're at WonderCon, let me know. I'll go out and we'll grab some beers. Untamed Mando, have a great night. Glad I got to catch him. Yeah, thank you for being here. Oh, The Thing. We'll do a stream about The Thing. Don't worry. All right, guys, you are fantastic. Thank you again for hanging out on this first installment of Max's Man Cave. This was super fun, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.